Guess who's late? How you doing, everybody? Chris Shima, glad to be with you. Boy, do I apologize. I thought this was a game that started at 6 o'clock. Evidently, it started at 5, and nobody told me. And so here we are. It's 4-3 Randall. We are just about to wrap up the end of the first quarter. The good news is if you want to go back and watch the first quarter, we're going to have that for you. I will make sure of that. But again, we haven't missed much. It's a couple field goals on both sides. This is Randall, the Saints at 4-16 and 2-10 in the Southwest region, taking on Southwestern Adventist. The Knights are 4-15 and 1-8 in the Southwest region. So both of these teams wrapping up the regular season. For the Knights, this will be their final game at home, and then they will wrap up the regular season on the road. And for the Saints, this is going to be their last road game, and then they go home on Saturday, and they will take on Arlington at home. So we've got a little bit of chaos going on right now, folks, so I'm going to pause for just a minute. You can watch the video yourself, and I'll be back with you here in just a minute. Okay, folks, so 6-3 in favor of Randall, and Chris Shima, glad to be back with you at the home studio again. Sorry we're late, but we are up and running now. So we're late first quarter, and not much offense to show for either team. Both of these teams have struggled a little bit. Randall came in averaging 45 points a game, and the Knights at 48. Second meeting this season between these two teams, and the Knights beat Randall for the first time in a very long time. Earlier this year in that game, it was back on December 6th, and the Saints fell to the Knights by a score of 66-51. The Knights were 36% in that game. The Saints were 27%. So let's set the 5 on the court. Cadence Bowman is out there for Randall with Sam Honeycutt. That's number 22. Number 23 is Ada Hensley. Number 6 taking the jumper there. I don't have a number 6 on my roster, so I couldn't tell you about that person. And, oh, mercifully, Adrian Brown's going to call timeout. Also out there is Savannah Bean, the senior. We'll set the 5 for the Knights with 2 minutes to go here in the first after this timeout. We'll be back. Six to 3 Randall here in the early going. Chris Shima, glad to be back with you. Again, we are joining you late because I was under the impression the game started an hour later than it did. What a way to wrap our first year together, Knights fans. What can I tell you? Speaking of the Knights, Sarah Valderrama's out there, as is Reagan Sandifer, Asia Toney, Hannah Koosters, and that triple by Valderrama is good. And I'm missing somebody. I think it's Eunice Balboa. Hard to see the jersey number. Yeah, that's Eunice out there. So that's the 5 right now for the Knights. Set the Saints lineup, and they're going to make one change as Tara Shaw comes back into the game for Savannah Bean. So 6-6 after Valderrama hit the 3. In the first meeting, Sarah Valderrama had a double-double with 11 points and 10 rebounds. Randall in a bit of a rebuild this year. We'll talk a little bit about that later on. coming off an 81-52 loss against Champion on Tuesday. And the Knights also played on Tuesday. They lost big at Arlington. Down low, Tony spinning, and a blocking foul going to be called on the Saints. Asia Tony had a good game in the first meeting with Randall. She had 6 points, 12 boards, and 4 assists. Saying the foul was before the shot. So just an inbound right now goes to Koosters for 3, and she swishes it through. Hannah Koosters. A second half addition to this SWAU Unites basketball program, a fantastic soccer player down there in Keene, Texas as well. Here's Hensley for Randall in the corner. Taylor got it to Honeycutt, and Honeycutt too high off the glass. Tony with the rebound. Yeah, Randall right now 4 and 16. We're usually used to seeing the Saints with the flip. Usually they're around that 16 and 4 mark up there with the Valderrama gets her second triple, so she's got at least 6. I'm missing 3 points because we were late, but I've got Valderrama with at least 6 points since we've come into play. Here's Taylor out deep. And we got a foul called as Bean was trying to drive. Savannah Bean, the lone senior on this team, 17 points in the first meeting, averaging 14.4 points per ball game. Good free throw shooter at 72% as she goes to the charity stripe. And can't get the first one to go. One out of 2 for Savannah. And it's down to a 5-point lead for the Knights. Shot clock is off for the Knights. Valderrama's gotten hot. Koosters hit a 3 from the left side, too strong from the right side, and that'll do it for the first quarter. 12-7, Lady Knights over Randall after 10 minutes. We'll be back with the second quarter briefly. Second quarter underway with Randall controlling the basketball, trailing in a low-scoring first quarter, 12-7. A lot of one-on-one with Savannah Bean. She's going back to the free throw line. Chris Shima, glad to be with you. So Bean, who hit 1 out of 2 earlier, got that first one to go to make it a 4-point game. So Knights yet to get a win at home. They're 0-12, 4 wins on the year. Signs of improvement certainly from last year. They doubled their win total. Really good rebounding team this year, this Knights team. 5th in Division II in rebounds, defensive rebounds, that is, at 30.1 per game. Down low, it's Peyton Sandifer for 2. Peyton Sandifer so good on the block. 4 points in the first meeting with Randall. She's got her first 2 off the bench here in the second quarter. Down low, off the mark is Shaw. Tara Shaw had 12 and 9 in the first meeting. So a 6-point lead for the Knights. Randall is 2 and 10 in the Southwest region, and it is raining triples. That's Chloe Samaniego, who had 12 points in the first meeting. She's off the bench with her first triple. So Samaniego and Balboa in the backcourt. Tony out there. Peyton Sandifer is out there. And I'm missing one person. I got an offensive foul. Kuster's still out there for the Knights. Savannah Bean back at the line. She has been good at getting to the free throw line since we've been watching, and I think the Knights are going to maybe call timeout and talk a little bit about that. Good start, though, for SWAU. They lead at 17-8. We'll be back. Welcome back. Savannah Bean back at the free throw line out of the timeout. Chris Sheeman with you, and the first one is good for Savannah. One of the few holdovers, Alani Taylor, is also out there. As the Knights back to live action turn it over. So Bean got both free throws. And now here comes Randall. Bean corner threes, an air ball, and that's going off the Saints and out of bounds back to the Knights. Southwestern Adventist getting hot from 3. They're looking down low again for Sandifer, counted in the foul. Peyton has got 4 already, matching her total from the first meeting with Randall. Sandifer can't get the free throw to go, so no old school 3-point play. Tara Shaw with the rebound. 19-10, Southwestern Adventist. Right side Honeycutt. Pass high for Bowman. Bean out near midcourt. Bean attacks, surveys, and guess what? They foul her again. Can't figure out Savannah Bean. So far, the Knights, that's been the lone offense for Randall, and one of only 2 players in double figures for the Saints here in this 2022-23 campaign. Bean, as I mentioned, 14.4 points per ball game. Tara Shaw, near 11 a game, also in double figures. And Bean looking to do a lot of creating here tonight. Missing the first free throw. Missed them both. Valderrama back into the game, pulls down the rebound. So Valderrama in for Sandifer, who provided good minutes in Valderrama's absence. Kusters forced the pass in the zone. It's taken away by Alani Taylor. Averages close to 2 steals per ball game for Randall. Honeycutt. Bean again attacking. Swings it out to the corner for Bowman for 3, and she nailed it. Cadence Bowman was scoreless in the first meeting. She shoots just 13% from 3 Big bucket there for the Saints. They're hanging around, down by 6. Koosters out on the wing. Here is Valderrama. Valderrama, the mid-range, got it to go. Sarah Valderrama, we saw her have some hot stretches at home first semester, early second semester. Cooled off a little bit, but she's back to her red-hot way. She's got at least 8 points here in this first half for Southwestern Adventist. Bean, again, they're just running at her. She attacks around 3 defenders and can't get it to go. Tony throws it ahead to Valderrama with 6.5 to play here in this opening half. Valderrama, cross court. Samaniego hit a triple. And Kester's was on, or Tony was on the block. Instead, that's a 3 by Balboa, no good. And the rebound comes to Randall. Saints Taylor at the half circle. Sit out to Bean. Bean to the baseline. The pull-up, no good. Offensive rebound by Bowman. High pass, but gathered by Honeycutt. Now Taylor with it. Extra possession. Bowman will try it from the right again. Banks it that time. So Cadence Bowman looking like anything but a 13% three-point shooter as she cuts Randall's deficit down to 5. Valderrama Samaniego calling for it. She is wide open. Hit one earlier, got another. Her second triple. Chloe Samaniego shooting 29% from downtown. Randall's hit a couple threes. Normally the Knights pretty good defensively guarding the three-point shot. They're 8th in Division II. Opponents shooting just 24% against Southwestern Adventist from downtown. Savannah Bean, that's through the legs of Shaw and taken away by Chloe. Throw ahead. And that bucket no good by Balboa. And then she deflects it out. So it'll be Randall basketball nearing the midway point of this second quarter, excuse me. That for you, I will. Honeycutt. Lolly Rivera into the game. Gets it back on the elbow. She was open, passed up the shot to Honeycutt. 3-ball no good. Valderrama throws it ahead for Balboa. Looking to push. Samaniego back to Eunice, and that entry pass is deflected by Hensley. Nice recovery there from Randall. I've been told that we will likely be able to post the full game for you later on tonight. So we missed the first probably half of the first quarter, about first 5 minutes or so. So we'll have all of that for you if you want to go back and watch it on demand. Valderrama's been hot, stays hot from 3. Sarah Valderrama is in double figures. I've got her with at least 11. We missed 3 points for the Lady Knights while we were away, but Knights opening up an 11-point lead. Rivera on the near side for Randall. Taylor bounce pass, gets it back on the quick toss, and her 3 way off. Ball punched out by Shaw. Helped her team get an extra possession. Taylor attacks. They're without Savannah Bean right now. She's on the bench, so where does the offense come from? They had 3 tries at it, came up empty, and now Balboa will walk it into the forecourt. Koosters threw that right away. Rivera one-on-one with Balboa. Rivera, Shaw, Honeycutt, now Taylor for 3. Too strong. Koosters trying for the rebound. It's taken away by Rivera, though. So Randall without Bean, who's on the bench right now. Actually, she's over at the scorer's table. She'll be back quickly. Not finding much offense, but they are getting the hustle plays. Finally, a defensive rebound this time for Hannah Koosters, who walks it into the forecourt for the Knights, excuse me. Valderrama on the wing. Balboa will try a triple. And she hits. Boy, the three-pointers are raining for Southwestern Adventist. Eunice Balboa, her first bucket. She had 12 points in the first meeting, just an 18% three-point shooter. But the shots are going down here tonight. Down low, the turn, spin, and score by Shaw in the left block. Tara Shaw makes it 30-18, and we have a stoppage. Nearing 2.5 to go in this second quarter. Late in the first half. We'll be back. (30-18). It's been, well, other than Peyton Sandifer's couple of field goals on the block, it's been all triples for the Knights here in this opening half. Chris Sheeman, glad to be with you. Balboa, the give and go. Her turnaround jumper, no good. Saints get the rebound. Honeycutt into the forecourt. Taylor cut off, back to Honeycutt. She's going to attack, had it blocked. Sarah Valderrama blocks it away. 8th in blocks with 1.6 per game. Sarah Valderrama, the sophomore. Couple seniors. Hannah Kuster is a senior. Asia Toney is senior. Playing in their final home games of the year. Mentioned 2 on the road to wrap the regular season for Southwestern Adventist. Then the tournament. Randall's going to host the tournament starting next Wednesday, I believe. Tuesday or Wednesday. Knights get another stop. Randall just 18 points here in this first half. Valderrama trying to back down. Swings it back out. Balboa gets it right back to her. Valderrama forced the shot. Couldn't get it to go. Some nice defense there. Ada Hensley off the bench. Taylor on the near side. Minute 29 to go until halftime. Hensley had it poked away by Toney. Asia Toney gets the outlet to the hoop and scores. Toney, her first bucket. 5 points per ball game, almost 6 rebounds. 2.2 steals per game. Senior has been a great asset to this program, especially this year. Maritza Ortiz into the game, got the rebound, had it poked away, but got it back. Valderrama into the forecourt inside a minute to play in this opening half. Toney from the half circle. Valderrama top of the key. Balboa bounce pass looking for Ortiz, and Rivera with the steal. Rivera one-on-one. Had that shot blocked, and it's taken away. I believe that was Hannah with the block. Down low, Asia Toney, the flip shot is good. Back-to-back buckets for Asia, and it's all Knights here tonight. Shot clock is off, so Randall can hold for the final shot of this first half. But what a performance by the Knights. Handling their business. Savannah Bean for 3, couldn't get the bounce. Few seconds to work with. Ortiz to Toney, can she get it off in time? It's no good. But what a first half for Southwestern Adventist, out to a 34-18 advantage against Randall at the half. We'll step aside for the halftime break, come back and bring you all the second half action in just a little bit. Don't go too far. Welcome back, everybody, as we get ready for the start of the second half. Chris Sheeman, glad to be back with you. 34-18 Knights, rain and triples in that first half. Sarah Valderrama at least 11 points. Chloe Samaniego, a couple of threes. She's got 6. 4 for Tony, 4 for Sandifer, 3 apiece for Balboa and Koosters. I'm missing about 3 points because we were, don't tell the bosses, but we were a little bit late. Balboa, Daria Lowry getting the start in the second half, and it's through her hands and out of bounds. So, Knights start the second half off with a turnover, looking to sweep the Saints. Both teams with 4 wins on the season and 3 combined wins in the Southwest region. Savannah Bean throws it out. This is Taylor. Scoop it into the corner. Quick toss back from Honeycutt to Taylor. Now Honeycutt again with the shot clock at 10. Bean had trouble with it, and the Knights come up with the turnover. Throw ahead to Balboa. Can't get the layup. Tip for the rebound. Fight for the rebound. It's ripped away by Dixon. So Layla Dixon with the hustle play. Down low, it's Tony turning, shooting. Can't score off the back iron. Tipped rebound came to Bowman. Into the forecourt, this is Taylor. Down low, Shaw banks it off the glass. First points of the second half belong to Randall. Lowry. Hannah Koosters, now Balboa. Gets a pick, buries the jumper. Eunice Balboa up to 5 points. 12 points in the first meeting against Randall back in December that the Knights won by 15. They right now have a 16-point lead. Blocking foul called. Savannah Beans has been drawing some whistles here tonight. That time the guilty party is Daria Lowry. Back-to-back field goals by Shaw down low for the Saints. Saints won the lone meeting last year. Knights won the first meeting this year, as I mentioned. Lowry to Dixon. Koosters trouble with the pass. Got it back with 9 to shoot for the Knights. Balboa gets around her defender. 7 now for Balboa. 38-22 Knights. Savannah Bean, this time it's an offensive foul. Hannah Koosters taking the charge. First of a doubleheader. We'll have the guys' game a little bit after this one's completed. 7 o'clock, I believe, is when that game will start. Lowry into the forecourt. So no Valderrama to start the second half. Offensive foul called on the screen for Southwestern Adventist. And it'll be Saints basketball. Bowman looking down low again for Shaw. And without Valderrama on the court, Shaw's been cooking here in this third quarter. She has 6 points alone in the third. Jumper long, rebound to Taylor. Here come the Saints trying to work themselves back in it. Taylor out to Bean. Bean attacks, can't score, and they call a foul on Bean again. No correction, it's on the Knights. Everybody's walking down the other side of the court, but it would be free throws. I thought it was initially signaled a blocking foul, and that was the call. So Savannah Bean, who made her living in the first half at the free throw line, back at it again here early in this third quarter. So Randall's cut it down to a 12-point lead. Couple of subs for Michelle Garcia. We will get you those. I believe Rivera is back out there. She is. And also Hensley has come back in. It's a team that only goes 7 deep. Lowry, turnaround shot, yes, for Daria. Daria had 13 in the first meeting. That's her first 2 here in the second half. Big bucket there for the Knights, pushing it back out to 14. Nice job on the entry pass by Koosters, fronting her player. Lowry can't get the bounce that time. Chasing down the rebound, though, is Layla Dixon. Extra possession now. Lowry over to Hannah for 3. And it's an air ball. Tony tried to save it, but was out of bounds. So Knights will turn it back over to Randall in a 14-point game. Southwestern Adventist looking to get their first home victory in their home finale. 2 on the road for the Knights coming up next. We'll have Saturday's game at Champion will be on Tiger TV here on YouTube. I'll be with you for that one as well. And then they go to Cedar Valley on Monday to close out the regular season. Triple is good from the left side. So Randall hanging around. It's an 11-point game. Knight's going to make some subs at the next whistle. Lowry, too strong. Bean's got the rebound. Savannah Bean, good rebounding guard, almost 5 a game. Looking down for her teammates, Shaw, and it's going to be a foul on Asia Tony, who's looking for a steal. Honeycutt will come in for Savannah Bean. Peyton Sandifer in. Chloe Samaniego is in. Still no Valderrama here in the second half. It didn't look like anything funny was going on with her in the first half. 3 in the corner, and things are getting interesting now for Randall. They've cut a 16-point deficit in half. It's an 8-point lead. Hannah Koosters down low. Sandifer can't get it to go. Shaw the rebound. So hopefully Valderrama's okay. If not, that's a big loss for Southwestern Adventist. In the corner, Hensley. Pass deflected, Sandifer the steal. So Sandifer, Tony, Koosters, Clements, and Samaniego with Sandifer. That's the 5 right now for the Knights. Tony on the left wing. Looking down for Sandifer. Clements tries to save it, but the pass is too high, and that'll be a turnover. I do see Valderrama on the bench there. She's the furthest one that's bunched up there. Down low, it's Shaw off the glass. Can't get it to go. Knights by 8, but Randall making a run. They've cut a 16-point deficit in half. Clements. Inside 4 minutes to go here in quarter number 3. Clements had it stripped. Trying to get it back. Players diving for it. Jump ball is going to be called most likely. Savannah Bean back into the game. Bean, Bowman, Hensley, Honeycutt, Taylor. That's the 5 for Randall. Another 3 is good by Taylor. Alani Taylor, 26% from downtown. And a 16-point lead is now down to 5. Asia Tony attacks. Off the glass and in. No. Offensive foul is called. Savannah Bean taking the charge for Randall. So the Saints on a run, trailing by 5. Bounce pass goes to Taylor for 3 again. She cannot miss right now from downtown, and it's a 2-point game. Timeout, Lady Knights. We're inside 3 minutes to go here in this third quarter. We got a ball game here in Keene, Texas. We'll be back. Okay, so a good sign. That's me, by the way, Chris Sheeman, back here with you at the home studio. Sarah Valderrama is back into the game. Not clear why she didn't start in this second half. Senior night, sometimes coaches will start and play the seniors quite a bit. Valderrama, though, back out there. Down low, Balboa can't get it to go. Knights had a 16-point lead to start this third quarter. Randall looking for the lead for the first time since about the midway point in the first quarter. Couldn't get it to go, though. So Samaniego and Eunice Balboa, Asia Tony, Sarah Valderrama, Hannah Koosters is the 5 for your Knights. Valderrama backing down, looking for the backdoor cutter, Balboa, but the pass was off the mark. Steal by Bowman. Now here comes Randall again, trying to tie or take the lead. Taylor's been the hot hand, misses the runner. Tony runs down the rebound, and here comes the Knights. Got to get a bucket here. Knights have been cold. Koosters scoop. She's going to the free throw line on a blocking foul. So just 6 points here in the third quarter. They've been outscored 20-6. Southwestern Adventist here in this third. As Shaw gets back into the game for Michelle Garcia's team. So Hannah Koosters at the free throw line. 3 points tonight, a 50% free throw shooter on the season. Missed them both, but Valderrama there with the putback no. Tony throws it up. She draws contact. So 3 cracks at it here for the Knights. Now it's Asia Tony's turn to go to the free throw line. She shoots 47% from the charity stripe. Tony and Hannah Koosters, the 2 seniors, playing in their final home game. Of course, 2 more regular season games in the Southwest Region tournament at Randall. Asia Tony gets 1 out of 2, so it's a 3-point game, 41-38. Savannah Bean. She is, and Alani Taylor, the 2 seniors for Randall. I remember Savannah in the national tournament when it was in Greenville. I did it a few years ago. Was that 3-4 years ago? It might have been her freshman year. Boy, Alani Taylor can't miss, and we got a tie ball game, 41-all. Alani Taylor's hit 4 3-pointers in this third quarter. Koosters tries to answer, can't do it. Tony tips the rebound, but Randall's got it. Looking for the first lead since early on in the first quarter. Bean was out of bounds, though, so Randall's going to turn it back over to the Knights. At halftime, it was a 34-18 lead for SWAU. 23-7 here in the third quarter for Randall. Down low, Balboa banks it. Boy, her cuts. Looking forward to seeing what she has in store for her senior year. She plays just about every sport that the Knights can offer. Savannah Bean off on the three. Ball tipped out to Balboa. Numbers for the Knights. Balboa to her soccer teammate, Koosters, but before that, an offensive foul. Savannah Bean's been taking some charges, sacrificing her body. What a senior leader for this Saints team. Probably not in a position that she or Coach Garcia expected to be in. We'll talk a little bit about that after the quarter's over here. But coming back for her final year at Randall and making an impact in this rebuild that's taking place right now for the Saints program. Rivera, Koosters diving for it, but Hannah was out of bounds. So Randall will have 13 on the shot clock here late in this third quarter. Taylor to inbound. She's been the hot hand. They get it back to her. Another three. This time it's off. Grazes the rim. Ball. Rivera tried to run it down, but it goes out of bounds. Shot clock should be off now, I believe, for the Knights. And credit Southwestern at Venice. It's not been a good third quarter, but they've maintained the lead. A lot of momentum with Randall. But final shot time now for SWAU. And they're going to turn it over instead. So now Randall with a crack at it here to wrap up the quarter. They're going to get Savannah Bean back into the game for this last few seconds. There's more than three. Our clock was running a little bit. So Honeycutt will inbound, but the Saints should have plenty of time to get it into the forecourt, try to get a decent look. Bean throws it out. Taylor back to her. Savannah Bean for three. No good. Rebound by Valderrama. Throws it ahead, but that'll do it for 3 quarters of action. Knights led by as many as 16 at the half. 23-7 run. 23-9 run for Randall has cut the deficit down to 2. Before we start the fourth quarter, and this will probably bleed into the fourth quarter, you guys know me by now, and you know I try to be concise, but when you talk for a living, you tend to get a little long-winded. So that might happen. That will happen here. Let's face it. But I wanted to say a few words about Michelle Garcia and the Saints program, and you know I've gotten to know a lot of, especially in the Southwest region, I've gotten to know a lot of the coaches, even some of the players who have turned into coaches. I've gotten to know through my time going to Joplin to do the ACCA tournament. I've done the NCAA national tournaments 3 or 4 times. So in the last probably 8 or 9 years, I've gotten to know these coaches really well. Michelle Garcia is not one of those that I've gotten to know a great deal about. She's always been great. Whenever I've needed anything from her, she has always been fabulous and helpful and all of those things. She's never struck me as the kind of person that's going to seek me out the way that some of the other coaches do, you know. Valderrama, as we start the third quarter, now up to 13. She'll go to the line to try to complete a 3-point play. But anyways, that being said, I just wanted to say what a fan of Michelle Garcia that I became after last year. Now, some of you know, and everything that I know about the situation is third hand and hearsay, so I'm not going to go into grand detail. But it's no secret that Randall did not complete their year last year. And it's my understanding, and again, I don't have firsthand knowledge of this, and I don't want to speak like I do, because, you know, you get into gray areas there. But I do know that it's my understanding that Coach Garcia was tested last year. Now, when I say tested, all basketball coaches are tested. And it's usually the kind of thing like, oh, coach, do we have to run another lap or can we cut practice short? Those are the kinds of testing things. Well, I think Coach Garcia had a full-on mutiny brewing in the program last year. This was more than just a little test. And credit Coach Garcia when you're backed into a corner like that as a coach. And we've seen this. We see this at the pro level. We see this at every collegiate level. Coaches have to go through this sometimes with their programs. And when you're backed into a corner, you have a couple of options. And believe me, I've been around programs that have not handled it the right way. But credit Michelle Garcia, she handled it the right way. And when she was backed into a corner, she had to lay the law down and say, listen, this is who we are, this is who I am, and you can get on board with it or we're going to shut things down for a while. Well, they shut things down, and that's kind of why the Saints, 4-16 right now, they're in a bit of a rebuild because they had some player turnover. And I know a couple of players like Savannah Bean, Alani Taylor, they're back from last year's team. Again, we're not looking to go into specifics. I'm just trying to give Coach Garcia the longest-winded compliment of probably her career. I told you it would be long-winded. But, coaches are always trying to teach lessons. And I think there was a lesson in whatever the situation was last year with Randall. And even in that situation, Coach Garcia was trying to teach her players from last year's team a lesson that unfortunately some of them did not get. They will down the road. I can tell you right now that if they don't regret it already, they will. Playing college basketball is such a privilege. And like I've said before, I've gotten to know so many of these players and coaches over the years. And once in a while, I'll hear from somebody, from 2015 who played and, they were going back and watching their games and they want copies of their games. These memories for these players and these student athletes is something that they'll tell their families about, they'll tell their kids about, they'll tell their grandkids about. We played college basketball. We were one of the select few. I know we're at the small college level here, but even at this level, players for the Knights who were 1,100-point scorers are coming off the bench in high school. They're coming off the bench now here in college. It's so difficult. So credit to Coach Garcia and the job that she did really showing us all her character and what this program's about. And I can tell you that if I know Randall and I know Michelle Garcia, that Saints program's going to be right back to competing for the region championship in no time. No doubt about it. And credit, Alani Taylor and Savannah Bean, they probably could have gone elsewhere. They're good players. But they stuck it out with Coach Garcia. And they are setting the stage. You go into recruit. Now you have a recruitment session that takes place starting now. And an opportunity really to rebuild and regroup and get the Saints back on track. The one thing that I will say in players' defenses, though, and then we'll get back to the game, I promise. But sometimes, the older we get, I think sometimes we kind of forget what it's like to be young, to be in our youth. And it seems like from the first time you can process thought. For the very first time you're a little kid and you can understand human language, you got people screaming at you not to do stuff, Don't put your fingers in the sockets or don't, do this or don't do that. And that really goes on throughout your entire adolescence into teen years and even in your early adult. I used to get screamed at my first job when I was in my 20s by people who thought they were trying to teach me a lesson. So, that happens really from the time you can understand and process. It seems like everybody's screaming at you until you're like 25, 26 years old. So sometimes it just seems like people who are yelling at you to try to get you to do the right thing are yelling at you just to yell at you. And for some people, for some adults, I think that's the case, you know. So when you're a kid, you kind of have to understand when a real lesson is being taught. And unfortunately, those players did not get that lesson. So we have a 1-point game now. Sarah Valderrama commits the foul. Savannah Bean is going to the free throw line here to try to put Randall on top for the first time since very early on in this game. Randall led it 3-1. So Bean has tied us. Randall officially coming from 16 points down at the half. And now they will stay tied as Bean gets 1 out of 2. Knights looking for their first home victory. We have a timeout. 7 minutes to go in the game. We'll step aside. Welcome back, everybody. Set the 5 on the floor. Asia Tony is out there. The 2 seniors, Hannah Kuster, also in. Chloe Samaniego, Valderrama, and Balboa. Eunice gets it. Ball fake. Dribbles to the corner. Nice crossover. Cut off on the baseline. Now she needs some help. And she stepped out of bounds. So the Knights' sloppy second half. In the second half, Randall has outscored them 29-13. Savannah Bean tied at 47. Still looking for that first lead in the second half for Randall. Bean attacks, can't score. Caught the ball as she was on the ground, and then Randall calls timeout. So 6 minutes, 20 seconds to go in the ball game. A tied game here in the first of a doubleheader. We'll step aside again. Back to live action. Chris Shima, glad to be with you. Savannah Bean driving, had it poked away. Staying with it is Taylor, who has fueled this second half rally by Randall with her three-point shooting. Loses the dribble, but Chloe Samaniego clubbed her over the back. So that'll be a foul on the Knights. Taylor and Samaniego. Nice little sportsmanship there by Chloe. Everybody's good. Backdoor to Shaw, no good. Koosters and Shaw tied up. A little physicality. And I believe we're going to have a jump ball here. There's no harm there by Shaw. Koosters, though, might have hit her head. And they do call the jump ball. Let's see if Hannah's okay. Just kind of grabbing at her neck area. Might have gotten. And the Koosters from Kentucky all getting some weather up there. I go through the eastern part of Kentucky quite a bit because it's a straight shot from Greenville, South Carolina up to my mom's house in Cleveland, Ohio, via the back road, so I know Kentucky very well. Eunice Balboa puts the Knights back on top. Balboa, second player in double figures. Sarah Valderrama with 13. Balboa's got 11, and it's 49-47. In the corner, Hensley. Down low, this is Shaw. Over Reagan Sandifer, who's into the game. Missed them both. Tony tries for the rebound. We got another tie-up, and this time it'll be Saints basketball. 5.5 to go in the game. Bean. Look out for Taylor. Hensley. Extra pass. Honeycutt to Bean, who drives, got it, and the foul. Savannah Bean can put her team on top again from the charity stripe for the first time here in the second half. Knights led by 16. But find themselves in a nail-biter right now, and Savannah Bean still can't give her team the lead. She's had two different opportunities here in this final quarter from the charity stripe, missed both free throws. So we are still tied. Sarah Valderrama. Balboa for 3. Off the back iron, rebound by Shaw. Bounce pass goes to Bean, stripped. Recovery by Eunice Balboa, who's quickly becoming one of my favorite little college athletes. We've seen her a lot this year. Good soccer player, decent volleyball, fantastic point guard here for the Knights. She can do it all. Honeycutt lost the dribble. Tony with the steal. Here comes Eunice, 3-on-3. Balboa bounce pass looking for Sandifer, and recovering was Hensley to poke it away. So inside 5 minutes to go in this one. All tied at 49. Samaniego will inbound it now for the Knights. Still looking for that first home victory. Valderrama on the wing. Deep 3. Got it to go. Sarah Valderrama's got 16 here tonight. And the Knights have a 3-point lead. Taylor was driving. Honeycutt thought about it. Now Bean tries to tie. Can't do it. And Valderrama, position and the board. Here's Balboa into the forecourt. Tony. Valderrama not expecting the pass. Good idea by Tony, but Valderrama just wasn't in position. So a steal and a foul, and the Saints trailing by 3 with the basketball. Bean behind the back, had it poked away. Samaniego the steal. Throw it ahead for Asia. She didn't do it, though. Kept it herself. Then she had it poked from behind. She had Asia Tony, but just never felt comfortable enough, I guess, with the pass. But Tony was ahead of her defender, so a missed opportunity there by the Knights. They will keep it on the possession arrow, though. So Samaniego will inbound it now. Valderrama in the corner. Balboa top of the key. Reagan Sandifer now. Valderrama. Oh, nobody picked up Balboa, who is so sneaky with her cutting. She's got 13. Valderrama and Balboa have combined for 29 of the 54, and it's a 5-point lead. Now a block and a takeaway for the Knights. I think if the Knights score here, if you're Coach Garcia, you got to call timeout if you're Randall. Valderrama again, back from Balboa. The turnaround, no. Taylor with the rebound. They got to find a way to get Taylor some more shots. She's been the hot hand in the second half for Randall. much like the Knights have been riding Valderrama and Balboa. Trouble with the pass. It's poked away. Can the Knights save it? They cannot. 7 to shoot, though, for Randall, so they're going to have to go quickly here. Taylor on the right wing. Taylor throws it up, somehow got that to go. That's the kind of night it's been for Alani Taylor. She came in averaging 6.7 points per ball game. She had at least 4 3-pointers in the third quarter alone, 54-51. Our clock is way ahead of the game clock, by the way. Valderrama top of the key, so there's plenty more time than what's being shown on your screen. High pass for Sandifer, and it's going to be a turnover for the Knights. I would say, and again, I'm just guessing with the clock, but I think we're maybe a minute ahead. I don't know. It stopped, and they're starting it again. The clock is one of those things here in the first year that we will get corrected next year. So here is Randall down by 3. Oh, Balboa tiptoes with the steal, and then they say she was out of bounds. A very late whistle there as Balboa had a breakaway. We got a timeout on the court, so we'll step aside. It's a 3-point game. We'll be right back. Quick timeout. It's still Randall basketball. Over 2 minutes to go here in this one. 1-possession game. First of a doubleheader. We'll have the guys game at 7 o'clock, thereabouts, unless we have overtime or something like that here, which is possible. Eunice Balboa with the deflection. So Taylor now will inbound it. Taylor, and we got a foul called on the Knights. I didn't see anything. It might have been away from the ball. Reagan Sandifer has come into the game and played fantastic defense on Alani Taylor. I think she was called for that foul. So Alani Taylor at the free throw line now. Our clock might be a little more accurate than I thought. So Taylor gets them both. It's a 1-point game at the 2-minute mark. Balboa walks it into the forecourt. Samaniego, quick trigger on the 3. Off the back iron, tipped for the rebound. That's going off. Asia Toney out of bounds. Shout out to Hannah Koosters, Asia Toney. Koosters, of course, a late addition to the basketball team, but fantastic soccer player as well. Asia Toney, though, she'll be missed next year. Her all-around play has been fun to watch this year. She can do a little bit of everything for you. Coaches love a player like that. Bean, no good on the 3. Samaniego the rebound. Eunice Balboa steps into a triple. Missed it short. Sarah Valderrama was waiting in transition. Taylor out to Bean. And the jumper is good. Randall has taken its first lead since the opening minutes. 55-54. Asia Tony, no whistle. Koosters missed it short. Tony's hurt. Knight's got to maybe foul here. Meanwhile, if you're Randall, you've got a 5-on-4, and now they stop the game for a timeout. So a tight one here in the closing minutes. Randall has taken its first lead. Asia Tony is back up. She appears to be okay. Peyton Sandifer is now into the game. So they stopped it, and that forced Tony to have to go to the bench. That's why Peyton came in. Oh, another whistle, this time on Samaniego on a reach. So the shot clock is off. And it looks like there's 29 seconds to go in the game. Tony's going to come back in. Savannah Bean has gotten to the line quite a bit here tonight. She's not been anywhere close to her season average at 72%, though, and she's short on that one. So the Knights will be able to at least tie with a 2 if she hits this one, win it with a 2. If she misses, she got it to go, so it's 56-54. Now the Knights, if you're Adrian Brown here, no timeout. Now he calls for time. Okay, so just a few seconds off on the clock, 26 seconds, and Adrian Brown will set up a play for the Knights to either tie it with a 2 or win it with a 3. We'll see what happens when we come back. Last shot time maybe for the Knights. Let's see what they do here. Shot clock is off. This is the first lead that Randall has had since 3-1 in the very early going. They've come from 16 down at the half. Eunice Balboa is going to go quickly. Oh, misses the bucket, but she's fouled. So Balboa will have a chance with just a few seconds off on the clock to tie the ball game. But then that gives Randall plenty of time, possibly for a game winner. They're going to talk things over here as we have another timeout in a nail biter. We'll be back. Pressure moments. Eunice Balboa at the line, 62% on the season. Needs both of these here. And then Knights got to play some defense to try to force overtime. First, the free throws. Balboa misses, but she knew it. She follows it, gets it to Valderrama, and the Knights have the lead. Valderrama's got 18, and it's 57-56. Knights, who are one stop away from sweeping the season series with Randall. Timeout, Saints. We'll be back. Saints have 17 seconds to work with. Jump ball possession arrow favors the Knights. Knights got to play defense without fouling as Randall's in the bonus. 57-56. Eunice Balboa with an offensive rebound after she missed the second free throw. And the Saints throw it away. A rare mistake for Alani Taylor, who's been brilliant on the offensive end here tonight. Still an opportunity, though, if you're Randall. Now that the Knights call timeout, maybe try to advance the ball here. This is a very turnover-prone team. They're going to go full court with it. They're going to whip it full court, and it's going to be deflected, and it's going to go off the Saints, they say. Clear look at it right there from that official. He was looking right at the play. So the Knights will inbound. Randall's going to have to foul quickly. It goes into Eunice. Balboa playing keep away, but Taylor with the quick reach. No matter what happens here, Randall will have a shot at tying the game, but Balboa, who hit 1 out of 2 and then got the offensive rebound. So it was Randall leading by 2. Balboa got fouled, hit the first one, knew she missed the second and was able to get the rebound, then got it to Valderrama for a field goal. Balboa 15 points on the night, make it 16. Ice in her veins, it's a 3-point game. Here's Savannah Bean. Got to look out for Taylor. They give her a look at it, she's off. Knights are going to win it. 59-56, the Knights sweep the Saints in the regular season. And here on senior night, send Asia Toney and Hannah Koosters out as winners. What a performance by the Knights, who held and got a gritty victory after leading by double figures for most of the first half. Withstood the Saints' run here in this second half and win their 5th game of the year. Randall falls to 4-17, 2-11 in the Southwest region. Knights improve to 5-15, 1-12 here at home, and 2-8 in the Southwest region. As they go road tripping, they'll be at Champion on Saturday. I'll have that one for you over on the Tigers YouTube channel. So come on and watch that one. Once again, your final score, it's the Knights 59, Randall 56. Stick around for game number 2 coming up in about